Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to give it a second. I see some of the participant numbers trickling in, and I have a good idea of how many we have registered. So I want to make sure that we give everybody an opportunity to be able to join before we really get started. Yeah, so I think actually we'll use this time to just talk about a few housekeeping items. So first, obviously, this is a webinar style training that we're doing today, which means that everybody is muted, helps to keep some of the background noise at minimum since this is going to be recorded and shared later. So if you do have any questions or you want to contribute, we always welcome that. It's fun being the person behind the computer if I have some people that I can actively talk to. So feel free to utilize the chat if there are things that you kind of want to talk amongst yourself. If you have any questions about anything that I'm covering today, if you want to locate that Q&A option in your general toolbar that you're looking at, that allows you to write in questions that I can see. So I will do my best today to monitor that question and answer feature as I go through the presentation content. If I miss anything as it's happening, just know we do have an opportunity to have a question and answer kind of period at the end of the call. So I will make sure to address things there. But if things do come in live in real time, I'll do my best to answer them while we're still talking about that relevant content that brought up the question originally. But yeah, it looks like our participant number is where it needs to be. So we'll go ahead and get started. I will start by introducing myself. So hello, everyone. My name is Natalie. I work for Mighty Cause, the technology platform that is behind Great Give Day. For those of you who were able to join our last webinar that we had about kind of getting started, how to register, how to build out our profile, you will recognize my voice since obviously it's me again. So nice to be with any of you who were here for that first one. So yes, a few housekeeping items in addition to the ones that we just talked about. First, a question that usually comes up in the first couple of seconds, and I'll address it first, is that yes, this webinar right now is being recorded. My goal is to have it posted on the Nonprofit Toolkit on the Great Give Day site by the end of the day on Friday. It should be much sooner than that, but sometimes YouTube takes a little bit to be able to upload. So definitely check back if you're looking for the recording, knowing that absolute latest by end of day Friday that will be up. But the slides themselves that we're going to cover today, I will have those added to the training page by the end of the afternoon today. So yeah, a little bit of a staggered approach, but it'll all be up there by end of day on Friday. And then, yeah, just a general reminder, use that Q&A feature if you have any questions or chat, and we will be happy to answer those and kind of have this be an engaging training on both sides. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Our general agenda for today is to go over some of the basics of what you should be doing for a Great Give Day up until this point. And then really the chunk of what we're going to talk about today is campaign strategy. So, what are the features on Mighty Cause that you can take advantage of to really be able to promote and amplify your success for Great Give Day? And then we'll have, again, a Q&A kind of session at the end if anybody does have anything that comes up based on the content that we've covered. And then I also do want to mention, I am joined by my silent partner, Peter, from the Community Foundation that is here listening in. I'll be running the presentation today, but he is here if any kind of really specific questions come up. So just know you have a really good audience for myself being able to answer any of the technical questions, and then Peter being able to answer any of the more like strategy and giving event specific questions that you might have. So we do have a smaller group today, which is usually my preference because it allows us to really take this presentation at a speed that works for everyone and be able to stop and cover things in detail for those of you who might have questions. So don't feel like you can't speak up. You're not going to slow anybody down. If anything, you're going to enrich the presentation for everyone else that is here today. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. First, kind of thinking about what does my organization need to do to be successful for a Great Give Day? I want to start by saying that, and I nodded this earlier, if you are new to Great Give Day and you haven't done so already, I would really suggest that you go to the Nonprofit Toolkit and watch the recording of the webinar that we did, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, for kind of getting started. Again, that webinar really walked through how do I register for the giving event? How do I build build out my organization page? What are some good, tips and strategies for making an engaging looking page? What kind of story should I be telling? So it really is kind of like the very first thing to be thinking about. So if you're here and you're like, I'm not even registered, I would definitely, stay along, listen here today. I think it's great to be able to hear this content live. But I would say is really step one is let's get yourself registered, so that way you're participating. And then the next step is to come back to this webinar, listen through of, okay, I'm registered. Now, what can I do? What can I take advantage of to get ready for the campaign? So yeah, this slide really just talks about, some of the overarching things that you can do to be able to be successful. And we're going to go into them in more detail as we move through the training. The first really big shout out that I want to do, and I know that you all must have landed there because you registered for the training today, is the nonprofit toolkit that's available on the Great Give Day site. This is a really, really excellent place to be able to go and find resources about things that we have covered in trainings, about things that Peter and team will cover in their led trainings, or, things that we haven't talked about in trainings, but you might have questions about. So the nonprofit toolkit itself has like step-by-step instructions for how to build out your page, how to use peer-to-peer fundraisers, what is a matching grant. It links out to the calendar page where you can see all of the events that are happening and what the dates and times are leading up to Great Give Day. So when you're thinking about, what is my one-stop shop for anything that I really need to know, because if you're like me, getting a lot of emails, sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, and I am prone to kind of missing things and not really, knowing what to do next. Your nonprofit toolkit is really the space to go. It has frequently asked questions. It has the webinars that are on demand. So you'll hear me plug this throughout the training today, and I can't do it enough because it really is the space that's going to allow you to have resources to help set you up for success. So moving into the main reason that you're here today is talking about your campaign strategy for Great Give Day and what are the features, functionality of the Mighty Cause platform that will really help you be able to amplify your success as we get moving into the campaign. So the first thing that we really want to think about is setting up goals for the giving event. Great Give Day is a 24-hour event. And one great way to sustain your fundraising momentum and make sure your campaign is on track during this 24-hour period is to set mini goals for your organization to help generate buzz and build excitement. You should start by determining what your overall fundraising goal is for Great Give Day, whether that be a certain dollar, donor, or gift amount. From there, you can begin to strategize how you can break that up into smaller achievable goals throughout the giving event. I would also note, be sure to keep in mind when your donors are most active, since these mini goals are a great way to engage your donors and allow them to participate in your success. There's a reason we start in this presentation talking about the concept of mini goals and, making this seem more achievable for you. And that's because in a little bit, we're going to talk more in depth about our matching grant feature and being able to set up, a matching grant or a challenge and how you can utilize that. So really the first step is thinking, having a sit down, scheduling some time where you can just focus on Great Give Day. What is your organization hoping to achieve? Where are you at in your fiscal year? Where are you at in any campaigns that you have going on? How much more do you hope to raise? And then how can you reasonably break that up into smaller chunks throughout the 24-hour period to make sure that you're in the best place possible to really reach that goal? Let's say that your organization's goal is to raise $15,000. If you just put that on your profile and then share it and hope that it works, there's probably a statistic that will work out for you and your donors will come, they'll do what you ask. But I would say that it's most likely that if you break up that $15,000 goal into larger achievable chunks throughout the day, it allows your donors to be more engaged. It allows them to see and feel the progress that they're helping you reach. And again, it helps get you to that goal a little bit faster and a little bit easier. But yeah, we will go into matching grants in just a second. Another strategy to jumpstart your Great Give Day campaign is to ask for seed donations. So these donations are from people in your organization's circle that essentially break the ice for donors, since no one likes to be the first donor. So when we're thinking about your page for Great Give Day, it will show metrics. So it will show, depending on what you have decided as the page admin, you could potentially be showing, the dollars raised or the donors for your campaign efforts. Having a donor land on your page and seeing 0 there, they might be like, why hasn't this organization raised anything? Like, should I be the first one to give? Is there something going on? Like, why don't they have any activity? So, the concept of seed donations and having someone that's close to you, potentially board members, staff, engaged volunteers, having them agree to be some of the first people to add a donation helps a newcomer to your page feel a little bit more secure and confident in wanting to contribute as well. So these seed donations are really called that because they help make the number of donations grow on your page. And I would say to keep in mind that, you're probably thinking there are a lot of times getting ready for the Great Give Day campaign where you're being told, utilize your board members, utilize your staff, tap into your volunteers, and it might start to feel like, am I asking them too much? I will say when it comes to seed donations, keep in mind that this doesn't have to be like a large monetary contribution. As long as they can give a couple donations that are at least the donation minimum on the platform, so it could be $10, any activity on your page will help that new donor who lands there feel like, okay, other people are doing it, I can support them too. So, maybe making something, engaging for your donors where, our first donor who gives at midnight, we'll give you a t-shirt or something. I'm not sure, but do something fun internally to really encourage this group of people to be the first ones on, the first ones to donate. And that way, again, it kind of helps set your success and boost your campaign as you get moving. So as I alluded to, talking about our matching grant feature. So yes, a great strategy for driving your donations for a Great Give Day is securing a matching grant. Matching grant is essentially a large donation that your organization leverages to bring in other smaller donations by offering it up as a match. For example, if you have a donor who is committed to contributing $1,000 to your efforts, you might ask them if they are okay with being highlighted on your page as a way to be a matching grant. So who does this benefit? One, it helps to benefit you, your organization, because this matching grant will spur additional donations and activities from other donors. But two, it really essentially doubles the contribution of that match sponsor. So, Joe Smith is going to give my organization $1,000. I put his $1,000 towards a match that's on my page. Essentially, that doubles to $2,000. And so not only does it help me as an organization, but it also allows that donor's dollars to actually go further and do more for my org. When you kind of shift the perspective and shift the conversation like that, it's a lot easier to get matching grants sponsors because, of course, they want to know that their dollars are doing the most for your organization that they can. Right now, we're going to talk, so we'll talk a little bit about, securing a matching grant and who should we talk to and how do we do that. But first, I did want to kind of mention a little bit about the matching grant feature before I talk about that. So the matching grant feature has a lot of options to be able to customize the match that works best for your organization. For example, you can set up a match, which we're thinking, right, dollar for dollar. So $5 comes in, $5 is matched, or we have a feature that is called a cumulative threshold match. I like to think about that as more of like a challenge. So you could set something up that's like, once we receive, once 100 donors give to my page, then we'll unlock this money. So it really is, if you're thinking about using this tool, we have a lot of built-in features and customizations in this tool that allow you to create it and make it your own. Another one of those that I did want to highlight is, if your organization typically has larger contributing gifts throughout the campaign, you might be nervous that, setting up a match will be depleted really quickly and it won't really bring the outcome that you're looking for as far as, spurring donation activity. I have an answer for you. We have something called a matching grant cap. And so you can essentially tell the match, I want you to match a certain amount of dollars that come through, but not past. So for example, let's say I give $500 to your organization, but you put a cap on that match for $100. 100 of my gift will be matched, but the rest won't be. So it still allows me as a donor, it still incentivizes me to give a larger donation, but it allows you to have a match that's a little bit more sustainable and that will, have a longer period of time to help drive donation activity. So, thinking about securing a matching grant. So securing a matching grant is very similar to securing a major gift, since really that's what it is. You're getting a large gift, and then there's this second component to it where you're saying, okay, and can I leverage it to do something larger, right? So when we're thinking about securing a major gift, we prospect, we cultivate, and we ask. Again, we're going to say the same group of people over and over again, but consider tapping into your individual board members or asking them perhaps if they would be interested in sponsoring a match as a larger group. We've definitely talked to a lot of nonprofits who have had success in that. You know your board better than I over here know your board, obviously. And if you feel like they've already been kind of taxed, or you're still working on getting their buy-in for some of the things that you're doing, maybe asking an individual board member isn't your route. Maybe going to them collectively and saying, if you all contribute $25, I don't know how big your board is. If you contribute $100, then that obviously that larger pot grows, and then you make a board match that doesn't require one of them to give a very large monetary contribution. And then also, obviously, major gift donors who have given large donations to your organization in the past are also great prospects. And providing a matching grant can be a really fun way to liven up their donations instead of just writing you a check. I'm going to say Joe Smith. I'm not sure why that's the name in my head. It's just very generic. Going back to a Joe Smith example, if he typically always gives your organization, a large donation around this time, you're not really going out, you're not really being inconvenient by asking, you're already going to contribute. What are your thoughts on us actually leveraging this in the Giving Day campaign to be able to bring in more donations? So I would definitely say those might be some of the people that you think about first. And then as far as timing, so it's not really ever too early, especially since, we're already in kind of this countdown towards Great Give Day. It's never too early to start making phone calls, setting up emails, and really starting to cultivate these prospects by letting them know that you're participating in the giving event and, kind of trying to gauge what their interest level might be in getting involved. And so for those of you who have participated in the past and maybe dabbled a little bit in matching grants, or maybe you haven't utilized this feature before and you're interested in learning more about it, I would definitely recommend checking out, and I'll do a plug of this a little bit later, but checking out our support center and also your nonprofit toolkit page, because we have a lot of really great resources that will walk you through how to set up a matching grant in the Mighty Cause platform. I alluded to the fact that there are a lot of customizations available. And that wasn't me being dramatic. There are a lot of options for you to choose from. And a support article would probably, if this is your first time kind of diving into that, might be the best way for you to really understand all of those little elements that are in there. So again, if this is kind of perking your ear, then definitely look into those additional resources. But obviously, it's not just over once you have secured a matching grant. The next thing is, how do we promote it to make sure that it will allow us to be as successful as possible? So in order to get the most out of your matching grant, you need to promote it. The first step is going to be using the matching grant, is actually going to be setting up the matching grant tool on your Great Give Day profile and setting it up so it will be visible and active during your campaign. This screenshot that we have here shows you what that setup process looks like. If you are on the back end of your Great Give Day profile, in the matching grant manager, you'll be able to create a matching grant. Again, here's a bit of a screenshot that shows you some of those customizable elements. And then next, I did kind of want to talk about the fact that the platform does have some built-in marketing tools for your matching grant, such as putting a sticker on your donate button when the match is active, which you can see here. So this is an example. On your profile page itself, you'll have a donate button. and also a fundraise button if that's something you elect to show. If you have a matching grant set up on your page and it's in the active window of time when this match is living, you'll have a little badge here that shows up next to your donate button. This is super helpful because there is obviously going to be a bit of organic traffic that lands on your profile page during Great Give Day. And this will be able to show donors who didn't otherwise receive, emails from you or see it on your social media. It will allow them to see that you do have a matching grant that is active. And then also thinking about from the platform perspective, there will be some changes to the checkout process to reflect the match. And the matching grant actually gets listed on your organization profile as well. So simply by even setting up a matching grant in the Mighty Cause platform, there are already some ways that we are helping you automatically be able to showcase the fact that you have a match. I would recommend, though, going an additional step further and thinking about promoting your match again on social media channels or sending it out as an email to your followers. You're probably planning right now and thinking about what is going to be your outreach strategy leading up to the campaign. And I would think that if you do have an opportunity to secure a matching grant before some of this communication goes out, it's never a bad idea to include that so that people know what is coming, and it allows them to kind of plan and strategize when they want to make their gift to make sure that has the largest impact. Moving away from matching grants, I do want to take a second to kind of talk about the concept of ambassadors. So an ambassador is someone who is usually in your organization's inner circle who can help boost your campaign. Again, we talk about this group throughout today, but thinking about, your board members, your volunteers, your highly engaged staff members, folks that are really integral and intertwined in what your organization is doing, and they're actively participating in your success. Utilizing ambassadors can help you engage new supporters and reach an audience that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. An ambassador can help your organization in a few ways. So first, we can think about them in a very basic way. So, we're thinking about just grabbing the URL to your page and they are sharing it on their social media, right? So that's a pretty easy ask. That's a pretty low stakes commitment for me as an ambassador to your organization, is to just come to your page, grab that URL, put it in my Instagram story, put it on my Facebook, maybe send out a few emails, or just share that link in a text thread with my family and say, hey, the I don't know why I always pick animals first, but the animal shelter where I adopted my dog is, participating in this day, like throw them a quick donation because I want to support them since, I have such a great companion from their organization. So thinking about ambassadors, it could be as simple as that. Or we can use ambassadors to, go one step further and get them involved as peer-to-peer fundraisers. So what is peer-to-peer fundraising, you might ask? Peer-to-peer fundraising is a technique where your supporters help fundraise on your behalf. They start by visiting your page for Great Give Day and clicking the fundraise button. This allows them to create a fundraising page, which they will share with their social circle to help secure donations for your organization. So I did want to kind of talk about I talked about this previously, but how do I get that fundraise button on my page itself? If you're looking at your organization page for Great Give Day, you're going to see like an edit mode kind of toggle in the top right corner. If you toggle edit mode on, it allows kind of these little elements throughout your page to show up for on-screen editing, which, shameless plug, we talked about a lot in our last webinar. So if this doesn't sound familiar, maybe go and watch that one about how to really customize your page. But thinking about it in a fundraising perspective, if you turn on edit mode, you're going to see a little option here that allows you to either show or hide the fundraise button. Perhaps this is your first year participating in Great Give Day, and you want to make sure that when you use peer-to-peer fundraising, you do it right, and you just don't have the capacity this year to really be doing that. Your focus is creating a page, building out a page for the first time, figuring out what your communication plan is and sharing it. And that is great. I do want to preface that, we're talking to a wide range of nonprofits here, and not everybody has the same capacity or the same experience level with running a campaign like this. So if peer-to-peer fundraising sounds a little bit too much for you to tackle this year, turn on edit mode, hide this button. If you have already participated in a Great Give Day in the past, or you feel like, our organization's ready to hit the ground running, I have a team of people that are here to be able to help me, edit mode, make sure that button is turned on so that this allows users to land on your page and sign themselves up to fundraise on your behalf. And then to help make this process even easier for your peer-to-peer fundraisers, you as the admin for your organization page have the ability to create a fundraising template for them within your account. So when the user comes to your page and clicks fundraise, there's a little pop-up after they log in, which essentially allows them to either continue with the template you created, or there's an option for them to say, no, I want to start from scratch. I think that it's really, really helpful if you have time and capacity to do so, to put together a peer-to-peer fundraising template, because it allows that barrier to entry for your fundraisers to be that much smaller. If my commitment is just coming to your page, clicking fundraise, clicking that I want to use a template, and then my page is essentially done, that's so easy. There's not a lot of reasons why I wouldn't be able to do that for you. And then again, I mentioned that there's the ability for them to click that they want to start from scratch. And that's great. That's a great opt-in for folks that might be a little bit more technologically inclined, or that have more of a connection to your organization. They want to tell a story that's very specific to them. So I would say it'd probably be most common that people would utilize the template if you have it available. So I really recommend that if peer-to-peer fundraising sounds like something you want to utilize, that you prioritize putting together a template to make that process a little bit easier for them. And then, thinking about if you have board members, staff, volunteers, or followers of your organization that you think would be great candidates for becoming peer-to-peer fundraisers, I really do suggest that you check out the peer-to-peer fundraising tools section of the Nonprofit Toolkit on the Great Give Day site. I talked a lot about how there's really great content and resources there about matching grants, but there also is an entire section there about peer-to-peer fundraising, how to sign them up, how to steward them, what is it. It also links out to resources about being a peer-to-peer fundraiser. So it's a really great space that if this kind of general overview of the feature has you hooked, definitely lean in and read those resources to see how you can best utilize this feature. So thinking along those same lines, if you manage to generate a lot of interest in peer-to-peer fundraising, or you've done that for Great Give Day in the past and want to try something new, you can consider trying our team or event fundraising feature on the Mightycause platform. So teams and events can be great for groups of people who want to fundraise together, like for instance, your board, local companies, or even volunteer groups. Team and events can be a great way to get people working together and united for your cause. And it also helps to inspire some friendly competition to keep them motivated at the same time. I know we're talking about two features here. The difference between teams and events is basically that an event allows individuals and groups of people to participate and fundraise together, while a team fundraiser is a group of individuals working together towards a collective goal. So the event page would really be like one page that everybody shares, versus a team fundraiser, everybody's working individually, but those donations kind of go together and show what the overall raised is by that group of fundraisers. And so the cool thing about using our teams or events products for a giving day is that these tools are built right into the platform, so it makes it a lot easier to manage. Again, you can create a template fundraiser so people can use that to set it up more quickly and pre-fill some of the sections of their page. And then you can also email a team and event members through the platform to keep them motivated. So that is kind of a different step from a regular peer-to-peer fundraiser. If you do have folks that you think want to go this route, there are, again, some built-in platform communication tools that you can take advantage of. So I guess in theory, this route, going a team or an event page, is really just more of a complex peer-to-peer fundraising option if you do think that there are groups of people that do well, fundraising together. So again, step one is kind of evaluating, do I have capacity to take on peer-to-peer fundraising for my page? Step two, have I done it and have I had success? And do I see a use case for allowing and, really promoting or cultivating a different kind of fundraising where groups can fundraise together, in which case you can take advantage of team fundraising. And I will plug that if this sounds like it's a bit too complex for your organization at this time, absolutely no worries at all. This is not something that you have to take advantage of to be successful. I would say that this is, I'm talking to organizations who have participated in years past, who have had success with peer-to-peer fundraising and are looking at, what can I do in 2024 to take my campaign to the next level? So this would kind of be one of those like advanced steps to, how do I continue to grow? What can I do differently? So moving away from our fundraising features, we kind of want to talk about, what are some strategies and things that you might want to start thinking about that are somewhat off of the Mighty Claus platform as well. So first, kind of thinking about our email strategy. Your email list is going to be one of your most important tools during Great Give Day because emails are a direct line to your supporters. Unlike social media, you don't have to worry about an algorithm getting in the way or preventing people from seeing what you send them, because unless they've unsubscribed, it'll end up right in their inbox and probably send them a notification on their phone as well. Thinking about email strategy and how it's important for a Great Give Day. So in general, you'll want to keep emails relatively short, simple, and skimmable. Most people read their email on their phone, so they're not going to want to read a novel, and we want to make sure that we're allowing them to get to the point. People are much more likely to read emails that pertain directly to them, so we highly recommend segmenting your email list by sorting donors into a few key groups. Donors who have given a lot or give on a regular basis, one-time donors, people who have utilized your services but never donated, your board, volunteers, and so on. You don't need to craft entirely new emails to each of these groups, but you can tweak small things about the emails for each group to make it more personal. For instance, in an email to volunteers, you might want to acknowledge how they already help your organization, and you wouldn't want to send an email to a major gift donor asking for a $25 donation. So we really there are some elements of it that we'd want to tweak per the audience. So once you've identified your key segments, you can figure out how to tailor your message to them. When an email is tailored to who the recipient is and the relationship they have with your organization, they are much more likely to read it and take action on it. How you segment depends on the program you're using, but most services like Constant Contact and MailChimp, they use tags to segment groups of people on your email list. And then another thing that we want to kind of consider is what is the timing of your emails. We typically recommend taking time to schedule as much as you can beforehand and have a template email ready for things you need to send out on the day of, like a blast email asking people to help you get your campaign goal or an announcement that you won a prize. When we think about really supporting our giving event hosts and also obviously the nonprofits taking part in a giving event, we want it to be the least stressful thing for you, which is why that note about scheduling your communications and getting things off your plate. That way, when you're in the grind and you're paying attention to what you're raising on the day of, you're not also having to run and send emails. You have something automated already doing it for you. And I do also want to mention when we're thinking about these emails that we're sending out and wanting to include what are the things that we want to include. So I would say at base, very important, we want to make sure that our calls to action are clear. So, give now, donate now, help us today. And then it sounds funny and like I shouldn't have to say this, but making sure that in your email, you're including a link to your nonprofit page that's participating in Great Give Day. Nothing worse than receiving an email that's asking you to take an action and asking you to do something and then not having the next steps of where I'm supposed to go to be able to do that. So always double check before sending out communications, before, posting on social media. Do I have a clear, concise ask there? And did I deliver on what the step is to get them where I need them to go? So, also not too early to start putting your profile link in maybe even your signature for your emails, getting the word out there, making sure that that link is out there so that people start to know where it is and that they can access your page. And then thinking about, other than emails, a big thing obviously for promoting and marketing is social media strategies. So some of you, you might have people for your organization that are really great at marketing. And so you might have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those might be working really well for you. Your organization might not have any of those, which is totally fine. I am not recommending that you go out of your way to create a social media presence if you do not have one already. This portion of the conversation is really for folks that already have a following in one of these social media platforms, and just a recommendation that don't forget that social media can be a great tool if you're already utilizing it to really be able to promote your organization's participation for Great Give Day. Again, the same way as we just kind of talked about it for emails, making sure that it is short and sweet and concise, which thankfully social media usually forces us to do that with character limits on posts and tweets and things like that. But again, always remembering to include that link, so that way if I'm scrolling on my phone and I see your Instagram post or I see your Instagram story, I can just click on that story and it takes me right to your page, or it takes me directly to the donation form where I'm able to give. When we're thinking about social media as opposed to email, I could be on my phone and read an email. I can be on my desktop and read an email. What social media is obviously most likely going to be on our phones. So we want that to be an even easier kind of mode from reading your post, seeing your post, and then getting to your page and being able to donate. So you want to make that kind of transition as quick as possible. For those of you who do have a good social media following already and have, a presence that you are able to take advantage of, it doesn't hurt if you have the capacity, both time capacity and also monetary capacity to do so, to maybe consider boosting some of your social media posts or ads to be able to have that be visible to a larger audience. We have had nonprofits that we've communicated with across the country participating in giving events that say that, even $20 for an ad can go a long way if it's targeted properly. So if that is something that you have access to and capacity to do, don't forget that, even, investing a little bit of money might actually help you have a larger investment from your donors and a better outcome when it comes to the donations that you receive. And then finally, probably the most important component of everything that we have talked about today is, following up with your donors. And following up with your donors, following up when you start to create these things, when you're planning your content, you want to plan your thank you to your donors. Things like making a video or a photo of your staff can be really great for this. So we talked about this a little bit in the previous webinar that we did, but you do have the ability to customize some areas of the receipt that are automatically sent to the donor once they submit a successful donation on the Mighty Cause platform. In that receipt, you can link out to a video, you can have an image if you want to. So it's a really great place, as that first step of donor stewardship and to thank them for their contribution. If you do have a short thank you video that you can film, that's a great place to put it. If you want to just, again, put together a picture of your staff with maybe some signs that say thank you on it, any personal touch that you can do is really great for that relationship. You're already probably planning on, email strategy, social media strategy. And so, putting together an email that is a thank you email to be able to send that out after the giving event to folks that have donated to you. Just because they receive an automatic receipt from the Mighty Cause platform doesn't mean that needs to be where your thank you to them ends. We definitely recommend following up, from your organization itself. So putting together an email to those donors to thank them for their contributions, or, putting together some posts on social media with those photos that you've already taken or those videos that you have created. So yeah, just making sure that you follow up with those donors and thank them, close the loop. And again, it's a great first step in stewarding them to be a different type of relationship with your organization. You might be turning a first-time donor into a recurring donor, or turning a small gift donor into a major gift donor. So don't underestimate the value of, following up and thanking them after they contribute to your success. And then last but not least, and I told you I would talk about this a few times today, There's a lot of support available to you as a participating organization in Great Give Day. First, going to that nonprofit toolkit that's available on the Great Give Day site to watch the recorded webinars, to read through the slide decks, to pull some of that linked out support articles and content that we have. Going to our support center where you're able to look through our support resources. And then, of course, if you have any questions, our team is here and we want to be able to help you. So, if you have technical questions, you're on the platform and you're trying to build out your profile and something's not working, or you can't remember how you're supposed to do something next, you can email us at support@mightycause.com. Our team is available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Or we actually do support phone support as well. So you can call us at 202-800-1618. As I mentioned, our team is here and we really do want to be able to help support you. We want you to be as successful as possible and to minimize any, frustration or concern or things that you might have as you're working to build out something that might be a bit new to you. So definitely utilize all of these resources that we have here and they will help you along the way. And with that, that really is the bulk of what we wanted to cover here today. It doesn't look like we had any questions that have come in. I can stay on for the next couple of seconds. If anybody has any, thing that they want to share or any questions that came up, again, feel free to write into the chat or write into that Q&A box. If you are all set, I just want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you heard some things that might excite you. Maybe you heard something that you've already done it before, but it hit you in a different way. That's great. Maybe you've participated in the past and you're just now kind of thinking about what can I do to step it up this year? And you heard about peer-to-peer fundraising or matching grants and you're interested in wanting to take advantage of that. We're hoping that this just kind of lights some of that excitement fire for you to really kind of utilize these features to help your campaign be successful. So again, just to circle back from the beginning, this recording will be added to the nonprofit toolkit by end of day on Friday. And then I will make sure to have the slides that we covered today added to the toolkit as well by end of day today. So it doesn't look like we've had any questions come through, which hopefully is a good sign. If anything does come up, of course, reach out to our team. Again, support@mightycause.com or calling us at 202-800-1618. So thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Good luck with your fundraising, and we can't wait to be here and cheer on your success.
Thanks, Natalie. Great job. We appreciate your support.
Thank you, Peter. Bye, everyone.